So I'm finally ready to piece it all together, and I am going to go ahead and stick to stitch 103, which is a center straight stitch. I'm going to leave my stitch length at 2.5 because I'm actually going to be going through some layers, and I have my machine set up with my dual feed foot and the 1/4 inch sole. And so let's look at our directions. If you look here, it is going to have you with right sides together, sew blocks together in a row using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Press seams, always use a pressing cloth when ironing vinyl, leather, glitter, or mylar. And that's a good reminder. I'm also going to heat up my iron. I want it nice and hot. I probably will iron everything all at once though. So here is our first square, which is the welcome. And that's going to go with our firehouse. So I'm going to pull those threads in. And if you want to pin, you can pin. I am just going to go ahead and hold it. And let's go ahead and sew these together. I already have my auto pivot set. I'm going to start with my needle down, butt this up against the needle, and here we go. And this is thick. I left my 9014 needle in. I have a 9014 Microtex needle, and that's what I was using to embroider with. That was really blurry just then. Sorry about that. And there is our first seam. Let's go ahead and add the next one. I'm going to come in from this angle. Let's see. There we go. That way it is not right in my way. Okay. Next is, I think this is is this the general store? Let me go ahead and put this one next. There's so much going on here. You have your background fabric, you have your shape flex, your muslin, we are not stitching in the ditch because all the quilting's already done. I'm going to press my seams straight open. Okay. Oh my God, it looks so cute. I'm so excited. That just doesn't sound like it's threaded. Let me go ahead and rethread. Okay, I'm gonna match up my seams once more. Here we go. I'm gonna start with my needle down, butt this up against my needle. I have my automatic fabric sensor on. If you have that feature on your machine, you should use it. It will detect the thickness of what you're sewing, and it will compensate. That was down a little bit. I'll just compensate for that when I sew the other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. Start my needle down. Look how cute the farmhouse is. Oh my goodness, that windmill is adorable. Last but not least, the windmill. Okay, my iron's nice and hot. I'm going to go press this. Here we go. Okay, let's put this out of the way. And I'm just going to press these open. I'm going to kind of get it going. And then I'll use some best press once it's open a little bit to really get it to hold. I'm going to use my best press Terrio Magic. And I'll give it a press from the front too. Next one. What you don't want is you don't want a bunch of batting in there. That's why I felt like it was so important to square it up with the batting so the batting wasn't bulky in the seam. Alrighty. Can you hear that? Like, it's Patrick. He's so loud. Could do this too to really get it nice and flat. You should compare them. It's noticeable. Right. Now you see why it's not necessary to remove that basting stitch, because it just gets kind of sewn in. Okay, I'm going to use my clapper too. I want this to be really, 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 really flat. Last one. I don't know what I was thinking just then. I was thinking I should just let it slide. Ta-da! I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. I'm not going to press it from the front because I have all that decorative stuff and it feels nice and flat. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we are going to put on the sashing pieces. Whoops, that was my leg catching the table. So here are my quilted sashing pieces and they are stunning. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up just like this. Just with where the batting starts. Actually, I'll move it over a little bit so that doesn't get sewn in. So I'm going to go ahead and just stitch it down. I'm going to take it to my machine. Not even going to use pins. Let's go over here and let's get ready to stitch. I'm going to come in a little bit at a side angle. That way it's not blocking my view. And let's go ahead and stitch that down. This is exciting. I'm going to be trimming a little of this sashing down. That's okay. Looks really cute. Let's go ahead and do the other side. And I want the other side to start. So this one starts with the double stars. Let's have the other side start with the single star. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. right, let's go ahead and press it. Okie dokie. I'm going to press this seam open too, just so it doesn't get too bulky. There's a lot going on in that seam. And you know what sometimes helps too? Is a seam press. Are you? Okay, so we'll go ahead and just give it a little press. Oops, I got pushed over. All right, let's go ahead and press the other side. Let's take a peek. That looks super cute. So we're going to go ahead and press the other side. Then we can trim these ends down and we'll put on the patchwork border. Let's go ahead and flip this around. Maybe we'll just open this up. We could just do it if we don't want to do it with the seam press. Just put my All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. You got my cutting mat, and I have my ruler and my rotary cutter. So let's go ahead. I'm just gonna trim. Sometimes I think I'm pricking myself, and all it is it's the it's the word I'm looking for. It's just the vinyl, the corners of the vinyl. Here we go. That side is perfect. Whoops, just dropped everything on the ground. And let's do this side. And I rather have too much quilting than not enough quilting. There we go. Looking good. Okay, now I'm going to add my quilted borders. This is my top for up here. I'm going to put that on first. And here is my bottom. So let's go back to the machine. Okay, I'm going to start with my needle down. Let me go ahead and put my bottom on first. I'm just going to make sure this goes edge to edge. I'm a little over. I'm going to let it hang over a little bit. Let me put my needle back up again, foot up. Okay. Go ahead and see how even I am. That looks good. I'm going to let this go over a little bit over the edge. It's going to be a little short there, but I'm okay with that. And it's going to make my quilting look more even. So my quilted border is a little bit longer than my pillow top. It looks really good. Really, really good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stitch this down. I'm going to start right at the edge. If I'm missing a little bit at the right-hand side, like I said, I'm okay with that. Needle up, foot up. Let me go ahead and rethread. It's a little too fast and furious for the machine, I think. Oop. You know, your machine won't thread if you've got thick stuff underneath the foot. All right, let's go and press. Oh my God, it looks really good, ladies. Really good. Of course, it's not perfect. Nothing I make is ever perfect, unfortunately. But it's looking really good. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Press these seams open. Just gonna come in with my iron. Just use a little tip. Square everything up. Got a lot of stuff to knock over in this room. I'm trying not to peek. Trying to get it all pressed, and then I will turn it over and admire it. But it's really tough when you're so excited like I am. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do this one. It's the final push. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. So I'm going to square it up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch up the embellishments and add those. But our top is pieced.